So this is my review of M. Night Shyamalan's Old. Let me say this about the film before I get into the review. Old has some set pieces that are classic M. Night. They are horrifying. They are unique. They make you just crawl. There's kind of shades of like Junji Ito in scenes in this movie, and they are enormously satisfying. I saw shades of the old M. Night, and those scenes were really incredible, and they take a very talented filmmaker. With that being said, this film is horrible. And I don't usually say that. I don't usually say a film is horrible, but this film is horrible, not in that it was bad, but that I actually felt palpable horror, not because of what was occurring on the screen, but because of my general demeanor and being in public watching this movie. I don't want to ruin anything because it's in the trailer, but let me make something clear. In this movie, M. Night crosses a barrier that I don't think any filmmaker would have ever crossed ever. This character is this character. That is a 3-year-old girl. That character is also this character. In case you can't do the math, M. Night has baby in this movie. I do not understand who signed off on this script, but there is baby. And some of you might be going, well, their minds grow at the same pace as their body. And I also tried to justify it this way. Nope, wrong. In only the way that M. Night Shyamalan can overly explicitly state something with dialogue. Later in the movie, two characters explicitly say that they are the same mental age that they were when they started the movie. So even if you want to try and justify this, he explicitly, in character's own language, do you think all adults feel like kids, or is it because we are still actual children? I'm quoting verbatim. He has baby in this movie. My skin was crawling. I could feel the entire theater just tighten. You know when you're in a horror movie and there is like that palpable silence right before a jump scare? I experienced the same silence when this character strolled out with a pregnant belly as she is eating pasta salad with her hands like a toddler. Why? Why, God, M. Night, did you think this was okay? Why did you think this was okay? It's not okay. It made me uncomfortable for the rest of I watched it with my girlfriend, and I saw my girlfriend just writhe. Okay, maybe some of you can get past the baby. And perhaps if the film was better, I could get past the baby as well. Here's the problem. I'm going to be honest. Let's move past it. Let's pretend as though this baby doesn't get and just review this movie beyond the baby. it's not a good film. It's not a good film because the amount of exposition in this movie is insane. It almost feels like a, how can I explain this? It almost feels like a Lars Van Trier film at points, and then at other times it feels like a Yorgos film, like The Lobster or Killing of a Sacred Deer, because of the way that the characters deliver lines. There are a lot of moments in this film where a character will actually come out and say something like, "Oh my God, the dog is dead, but he was just alive, but now he's dead. Oh my God, time operates in a different way on this beach." And you can see that the performances are almost what I would describe as cognizantly wooden. It cannot just be the performance. M. Night was really looking for a very specific delivery, and it's very reminiscent of Killing of a Sacred Deer or The Lobster, or if you've ever seen a Lars Van Trier film, kind of there too. And in this movie, it just comes off so strangely. The other thing I will say about this movie is I feel like M. Night was very confused by how to shoot this space. So this beach is supposed to be like 200 yards long. I just don't think M. Night knows how to frame it at all. And it typically ends up with the characters just kind of standing around like this in like a weird, like almost stage play formation. And it also leads to like really strange action sequences where like the characters will be standing around. Like in this scene, she's freaking out and her mom like walks 20 yards down the beach and just like sits down, and you're kind of like, see, she walks to this second group and like sits down. The blocking is very strange, and you don't really know how sound works in this film. And some of the action sequences feel like almost like a strange like dream sequence where like a serial killer is running faster than you in your dream and you can't get away, is kind of what it feels like. This movie honestly feels like a group of people took acid and sat on a beach and just everyone stopped making sense. And then at the end of this movie, classic M. Night Shyamalan twist. I don't want to give it away. I wouldn't say that the twist at this movie is even that shocking. It actually, in my mind, is more predictable an answer than anything else for a lot of why these people ended up on this beach. The problem is, after the twist, there is no bullshit, a Pirates of the Caribbean length ending of just exposition where like characters are like, this is why this happened. And as a result of this, this will happen. Well, now this is happening. Oh no, this is happening because this happened. This is happening. We're flying away. Look at what happened. Like it's almost laughable how much the characters talk about the resolution of this film. My lady friend is a screenwriter, and her reaction literally was like, I cannot believe that like this screenplay feels like the first screenplay that screenwriters write before they're told that you should show and not tell. It is still a great film to watch in terms of what you can learn from it. I think you can learn how to do a really amazing set piece from this movie still. There's a scene in a cave that I won't give away, but it really felt like the old. It was good, man. There's like a 5-second sequence in this cave that they set up beautifully, and it's something I've never seen before, and it was creepy, and it was weird, and the way that they visualized it was super gnarly, and I was like, yeah, that's the old, that's the knife under the door in Signs, or the puking girl in the tent in Sixth Sense. Like, this is that, or the scene at the beginning of Unbreakable where, like, the doctor is talking to him, and he's like, 2,000 people died on that train, and you survived without a scratch. It's like one of those perfect set pieces that made M. Night, right? And then the rest of this film is just a mess. It's a big time mess. I don't understand a lot of times what he was going for. But to be honest, everyone can be their own judge. If you enjoyed this film, that is your prerogative. I never give a review with the intention of denigrating someone else's enjoyment. If you enjoy a film, do not let anybody else convince you otherwise. I am simply having a discussion about how I received it and about how I kind of weep for this golden era of M. Night films that, in my opinion, seems to be over.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Subscribe to Will Neff's channel. Hey now. Is that good?
Okay, now do mine now.
Hey now. What's going on, arch villains? I'm Will Neff.
Wait, why is that so much better than yours?